Katt Williams and Eddie Murphy just dropped shocking bombs about Kevin Hart's dark secrets, and it's way deeper than some friendly comedian beef. This isn't your regular Hollywood gossip. It's the kind of truth that makes you question everything you thought you knew about Kevin's rise to fame. Something about this feels way bigger than a simple feud. Eddie Murphy went public and basically claimed that Kevin Hart's so-called box office success is fake.
But Kevin Hart broke your stand-up box office record.
What record did he break?
He said he broke some record of your box office sales for stand-up.
I don't know.
Are we ever gonna see you on stage again doing stand-up?
I'm gonna do it again, because I got to break Kevin's new record. I got to get back on the stage, because this new record that Kevin got, I got to have it back, Kevin.
He made sure everyone remembered that Raw is still the #1 concert film of all time. And get this, he hasn't even touched the stage in 27 years. That's wild. Then Eddie dropped another bomb, saying he's ready to hit the stage again because he wants his crown back. Now sure, it might sound like he's joking, but if you really know Eddie Murphy, you know he never says something he doesn't mean, even when he's cracking up. And that hits hard because Katt Williams has been calling this out for years, saying Kevin Hart never really earned that top spot. He's been claiming that the movie roles that made Kevin a superstar were actually offered to him first. Katt's been insisting that Kevin's rise wasn't natural at all, but carefully built by the industry because he played the game in ways other comedians refused to. That's a serious accusation. Now Eddie Murphy stepping in and co-signing that vibe, that changes everything. When two comedy legends, the kind of names that built the whole game, start questioning how you really made it to the top, that's not just shade, that's a full-on reality check. This isn't hate, this is a wake-up call. Let's dive in. Let's take a minute to talk about Eddie Murphy, because for years, this man stayed completely out of the mix. He never dipped into comedy drama, never threw shade, and definitely didn't waste time with petty beefs. Eddie was just living his life, minding his business, and staying legendary in silence. That's exactly why it hit so hard when he finally decided to speak up about Kevin Hart. Out of nowhere, Kevin started bragging that he broke Eddie Murphy's box office record for stand-up, and that's the moment everything changed. So when someone asked Eddie about Kevin's claim, he didn't lose his cool or get defensive. He just dropped the truth with that classic calm confidence. Eddie reminded everyone that Raw still holds the title as the #1 box office concert film in history. And the craziest part, he hasn't even stepped on a stage in 27 years. That's power right there. Most people laughed it off like Eddie was just joking. But let's be real, it didn't sound like a joke at all. Eddie Murphy doesn't drop names just to play around, and everyone who knows him knows that. What he was really saying was crystal clear. Don't get ahead of yourself. In other words, Kevin hasn't passed him, not even close. That should have been the end of it, but of course it wasn't. Because once a legend like Eddie questions your crown, everyone else suddenly feels bold enough to do the same. And the loudest one in that crowd? Katt Williams. He's been calling Kevin out for years. Their back and forth has been brewing for a long time, and this moment just reignited the whole fire. This beef didn't just pop up overnight, it's been simmering for years. Back in 2014, Katt Williams was already throwing slick shots at Kevin during his stand-up sets, and you could feel the tension hiding behind the jokes. It wasn't playful, it was personal. By 2016, Katt took it to another level, going full-on conspiracy mode on stage and straight up calling Kevin a puppet.
Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie?
The crowd couldn't tell if he was joking or spilling something real, but either way, the message was loud and clear. Katt even took it up a notch and straight up challenged Kevin to a one-on-one comedy showdown, a $5 million face-off to prove who's really the king of the stage. But Kevin, he never said a word, total silence. Now, maybe he thought he was too big to respond, or maybe he didn't feel confident enough to take that challenge. Either way, that quiet spoke volumes. And here's the twist. Katt actually ended up apologizing later on. That move shocked everyone because no one saw Katt backing down like that. At one point in 2016, Katt actually went on the radio and admitted he regretted calling Kevin out by name during his set. So it's not like he was wilding out nonstop. He had moments where he tried to pull back and cool things off. But that frustration kept bubbling underneath, just waiting to spill over. Then by 2018, everything blew up again when Katt took aim at Tiffany, and that hit different because she's one of Kevin's closest friends. The minute Katt went after her, the whole situation got messy all over again, and Kevin couldn't just stay quiet anymore. Katt straight up questioned if Tiffany had really earned her spot. He said she hadn't done a real tour, hadn't dropped a major special, and even asked people to name their favorite Tiffany Haddish joke, and that hit deep. But Kevin wasn't having it, not one bit. He fired back hard on The Breakfast Club, sitting right next to Tiffany herself. Kevin told Katt point blank, "You had your shot. You were set up to be the star, but you didn't show up to work, and that made you a risk." It wasn't just a clapback, it was a full-on reality check in front of the whole world. Katt came out questioning if Tiffany Haddish really earned her spot, saying she hadn't done a real tour, hadn't dropped a proper stand-up special, and even challenged people to name their favorite Tiffany Haddish joke. That cut deep, and Kevin didn't let that slide for a second. He clapped back hard on The Breakfast Club, sitting right beside Tiffany, and told Katt straight up, "You had the shot. You were set up to be the star, but you didn't show up to work, and that made you a risk." Then he hit even harder, saying, "You became a risk to the studios, which is why they stopped working with you." When asked why he was a risk, Kevin didn't hold back. He chose drugs. Then he added, "Take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what, I gotta fix me, and I'm gonna come back and stand up for comedy." That moment landed heavy, because Kevin wasn't entirely wrong. Katt's had his struggles, and everybody knows that. But Katt wasn't wrong either, because his real issue wasn't about Tiffany. It was about how the industry decides who gets pushed to the top and who gets left behind. And that's the part Kevin always seems to dodge. Fast forward to January 2024. Katt sat down with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay and finally laid it all out with no filter. He flat out called Kevin an industry plant.
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
He said Kevin's rise didn't follow the normal grind that real stand-up comics go through. Katt even broke it down, saying Kevin claims he came up hustling on the East Coast comedy circuit, but somehow he was also working in Los Angeles at the same time. Katt said that timeline just doesn't add up, and that's where the real mystery starts. Then Katt dropped a bomb that people are still talking about. He claimed that for 5 whole years, every major comedy movie that landed on Kevin Hart's lap had been offered to him first. That's a wild statement. Katt said he turned those roles down because he didn't want to play into stereotypes or do scenes that didn't sit right with him. He wanted to protect his image and keep his comedy authentic. But when he asked for script changes, the studio shut him down. No negotiations, no respect for his boundaries. And here's the twist. Those same exact scripts ended up in Kevin's hands, and he took them as is, no questions asked. Now, Kevin's talked about this kind of criticism before. Back in 2014, during an interview with Oprah, he said Hollywood loves to make success look like it happens overnight, but there's always a long grind behind it. Still, Katt's version of the story makes everything sound a whole lot messier. Kevin's been in the game for almost 2 decades, 18 solid years, and there's no doubt he's paid his dues more than once. Nobody can say he doesn't work hard, because getting to Kevin Hart's level takes serious grind, sleepless nights, and non-stop hustle. He earned that work ethic for sure. But Katt's point was never about Kevin's effort. It ran way deeper than that. What Katt really wanted people to think about was who opened those doors for Kevin in the first place, and what kind of deals or compromises he might have had to make to step through them. That's the question that keeps everyone talking. And that's the one question Kevin has never really answered, not directly anyway. But here's where things start to take a wild turn. Back in 2010, Kevin Hart hosted a big party in Las Vegas for Diddy, and at the time, nobody thought twice about it. It was just another flashy celebrity event, lights, cameras, and money everywhere. But recently, old footage from that very night resurfaced online. And let's just say, it's uncomfortable to watch. The energy, the moments caught on camera, it all feels different now, especially with everything people have been saying lately. There's one clip from that night that really had people's jaws dropping. It shows Kevin in a small, dimly lit bathroom surrounded by a group of women in bikinis. The lights are low, candles are flickering everywhere, and the vibe is absolutely chaotic. Then out of nowhere, things take a shocking turn. One of the women's hair catches on fire, and instead of anyone rushing to help, the whole room just bursts out laughing.
Once everybody gets out, just me and the lady, this is my scene. I'm used to this type of thing. Doing what I do best. Oh, shit! Oh, did the camera catch that? Got the camera!
Kevin's laughing too, like it's part of the show, while the moment plays out in total disbelief. I watched that clip and couldn't believe it. Like, what kind of environment is this where someone's hair is literally on fire and people are laughing instead of helping? That's not just wild, that's straight up disturbing. And then another clip pops up from the same night. Kevin's talking to whoever's holding the camera, and he basically tells them to point it away from wherever Diddy is in the room. That alone raised eyebrows, like, what was going on that couldn't be caught on film? He never explains why, just says, "Don't film over there," and that's it. The camera catches a tiny glimpse of that area before it quickly pans away, and ever since, people have been asking the same question. What was going on in that corner that couldn't be filmed? It's strange because Kevin was the host of the whole event, the man running the show. Yet he's the one directing where the camera can't point. That's suspicious, no matter how you look at it. Now, to be clear, Kevin hasn't been accused of doing anything illegal at that party. Nobody's saying he committed a crime. But what makes this clip so unsettling is what's come out after the fact. Because now, we know a lot more about the kind of parties Diddy was reportedly throwing back then. The feds have accused Diddy of hosting private events where some seriously dark and disturbing stuff was allegedly happening behind closed doors. And here's where it really gets questionable. Kevin wasn't just another guest at one of Diddy's infamous events. He was the host. He was the one setting the tone, keeping the energy up. And from the footage, he looked way too comfortable doing it. So now, whenever paparazzi catch up with him and ask about his connection to Diddy, you'd think he'd clear the air, right? Just say his piece and move on. But nope, every single time, he dodges the question. No explanation, no clarification, just laughs it off or changes the topic completely. And that's exactly what makes people side-eye the whole situation. Because if nothing shady went down and you didn't see anything questionable, then why not just say that out loud? And the truth is, that Vegas party isn't the only thing that's aged badly for Kevin. If you dig through his past, there's a clear pattern. He keeps finding himself tangled up in messy situations, and it's only when the pressure gets too high that he finally speaks up. The situation got so serious that the FBI stepped in to investigate who was behind the extortion plot. That's how deep it went. It wasn't just some random gossip or rumor online. Federal agents were digging to uncover who tried to trap Kevin, proving the whole scandal was way bigger than anyone first thought. I'll give Kevin credit. Getting ahead of that scandal publicly was a smart move. Owning up before things got worse probably saved his career from completely crashing. But what really hit me was what Aniku revealed later in their Netflix documentary. She confirmed that she was pregnant when it all went down. And that detail changes everything. Because now, it's not just a man making a bad mistake. It's a husband betraying his pregnant wife.
You know, it's a shitty moment. Shitty moment when you know you're wrong. And there's no excuses for your wrong behavior. At the end of the day, man, I just simply got to do better. But I'm not going to also allow a person to have financial gain off of my mistakes.
And to make it worse, she found out about it at the same time the whole world did. That pain ran deep. Then, just when it seemed like Kevin was trying to rebuild his image, another storm hit. In 2018, he got announced as the host of the Oscars, a massive honor. But almost immediately, old tweets and stand-up clips started resurfacing. They showed him making jokes about the LGBTQ community, and people weren't letting that slide. When the backlash hit, Kevin's first response only made things messier. He basically said, "I'm not apologizing. I've already addressed this." The backlash exploded so fast that Kevin had no choice but to step down from hosting the Oscars altogether. What was supposed to be one of the biggest moments of his career turned into total chaos. And after standing firm at first, he eventually circled back and apologized. But by then, the damage was already done, and the opportunity was gone. The one thing that ties all of these moments together is how Kevin only seems to take accountability when he's backed into a corner. It's never about doing the right thing from the start. It's about saving face when the pressure's too heavy to ignore. He doesn't jump ahead of a problem unless it's already about to run him over. And then came the situation with Monique. And honestly, this one hit different because it felt personal. In 2021, Monique sat down with Kevin on his podcast, Comedy Gold Mines, and for once, it felt like a genuine conversation. She opened up about everything. The struggles she faced after calling out Oprah and Tyler Perry, how Hollywood basically froze her career, and how that decision affected her family. You could feel the pain in her voice. Kevin seemed understanding in that moment, nodding and showing support. But what happened next made a lot of people question how real that empathy really was. Kevin really stepped up in that moment. He told Monique she was like family to him, calling her a mix of a mother, an aunt, and a sister all in one. He said he wanted to help her get back on her feet and rebuild her place in the industry. And for a second, it actually looked like he meant it. He didn't just talk, he took action. Kevin even picked up the phone and called Tyler Perry himself, trying to smooth things over. When he came back to Monique, he told her that Tyler was ready to move forward and put the past behind them. Kevin told her, "Let's leave all that negativity behind. We've got bigger things to do together."
Let's do some great things together. Don't even worry about it. Whatever y'all want to do, I will partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. You just let me know what you want to do.
Kevin really stepped up for Monique. He told her she was like family to him, calling her a mix of a mother, an aunt, and a sister all wrapped into one. He promised he wanted to help her rebuild, not just with words, but with real action. He even picked up the phone and called Tyler Perry himself, trying to mend things between them. When he came back, he told Monique that Tyler was finally ready to move forward and put all the drama to rest. Kevin told her, "Let's leave all that negativity behind. We've got bigger things to do together." Then he made it sound even more solid by offering to partner up and executive produce whatever project she wanted to bring to life. According to Monique, Kevin told her, "Mo, let's do some great things together. Don't even worry about it. Whatever you want to do, I'll partner with you. I'll executive produce it with you. Just let me know what you want to make happen." And on top of that, Kevin even lent her a significant amount of money during that time. Real support when she needed it most. But Monique made it very clear later on that she paid it all back, with interest. She wanted everyone to know she never took advantage of Kevin's kindness. She kept her word and handled her business. Monique believed in what Kevin was promising. She shared the good news with her producers and her team at Endemol, her production company. Everyone was excited because having Kevin Hart's name attached to a project instantly opens doors in Hollywood. They started moving forward, ready to bring her talk show back to life. But then, just 2 weeks later, everything came crashing down. Endemol called Monique and told her that Kevin's manager, Dave Becky, had reached out with bad news. Kevin was backing out. At the end of the day, it all circles back to the same pattern. Kevin always says exactly what people want to hear in the moment, but when it's time to actually follow through, he goes silent. It's like he knows how to talk the talk, but walk in the walk. That's where things start to fall apart. So where does all of this leave us? Because when you step back and look at Kevin Hart's career from the outside, it looks like the perfect success story. A man who came from nothing, grinded his way up, and built an empire. And honestly, in many ways, that's true. He's funny, he's driven, and his hustle is unmatched. No one can deny his work ethic or what he's accomplished. But there's a big difference between working hard and being real. And that might be what Katt Williams and Eddie Murphy have been trying to point out all along. It's not that Kevin didn't grind. It's that the story he tells about how he made it to the top might not be the full picture. There might be chapters he's choosing not to read out loud. And every time people try to press Kevin about the parts of his story that don't quite add up, he either dodges the question, laughs it off, or makes a quick joke to change the subject. That strategy worked for a long time, back when he was untouchable, the biggest comedian in the world, and nobody dared to dig too deep. But that era's over now. Katt Williams went on Club Shay Shay and threw those hard questions right out into the open. Eddie Murphy co-signed The Doubt, the Diddy party footage came back into the spotlight, and the Monique situation resurfaced, all at once. Suddenly, Kevin's clean, hard-working, "I'm just a funny guy from Philly" image is being tested like never before. People are looking at him differently now, and the cracks in that perfect story are starting to show. What's wild is, Kevin could probably shut most of this down if he just kept it real. If he stopped dodging, stopped deflecting, and finally told the whole truth, a lot of people might actually respect him more for it. He could clear the air so easily, just address the Diddy footage directly, explain what really went down with Monique, and respond to Katt Williams's claims with actual details, instead of giving the same polished speeches about grinding and staying positive. People can see through the motivational talk now. What they want is realness. Because at the end of the day, honesty earns more respect than a carefully crafted public image ever will. But until Kevin finally decides to speak up and tell the full story, the questions aren't going anywhere. And the longer he stays silent, the louder everyone else becomes. Katt, Eddie, fans, and the internet all filling in the blanks for him. Anyway, that's it for this one. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe what Katt Williams said? Do you think Eddie Murphy was just joking, or was he sending a message? And most importantly, Do you think Kevin Hart owes the public some real answers? Let me know below. If you made it this far, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Whose side are you on? Let's keep this conversation going.
Nothing. That's right, because that's what you believe in. You can't even play that shit at the library. See how that shit feel. You just in the library. Whole thing, who do you even pray to? Nobody. Even when you're fucking, what do you say when you call them atheists? Oh,